I'm Jeff Philbin, and this is Dinner DeeAs. Ideas for dinner that you can make at home, because we show you how. Today, some very special seafood as we make miso crunch salmon with roasted Brussels sprouts and super grains and a sweet vinaigrette. Joining me to make his miso crunch salmon is Chef Jason Miller. He's the Chief Melting Officer for Miso, or Melting Pot Social, an offshoot of classic Florida fondue spot, The Melting Pot. So great to have you inside the Dinner DeeAs kitchen, my friend.
It's great to be here. It's great to see you.
Now, today, though, the Dinner DeeAs kitchen is a fondue-free zone, but we're making one of Miso's absolute mainstays here.
Yes, this is one of our signature items. It's our miso crunch salmon, and I'm super excited to be able to show you this today. The first step is a sweet mustard vinaigrette.
Okay.
So we have to make that first because it's actually a component in 2 of the 4 components of this dish.
Okay.
So it's real easy to make. It's super easy, and I'm going to show you right now.
In a food processor.
In a food processor. So you don't need a knife to make any of this.
Ooh, even better. All right.
Later, we might need to get a knife. Right now, we're good. So I'm going to start by adding in some mayonnaise, and you can use whatever mayonnaise you feel like using. Okay. Regular mayonnaise, vegan mayo, they all work.
Very nice.
A little bit of sweet white onion, and this, I have it diced very small. You don't have to dice it as small, but the smaller you dice it, the quicker it'll chop up. Mm-hmm. I'm also going to add some honey. This is going to give it a lot of sweetness. It'll help temper out some of that onion. Then some real quick items. We've got a little bit of apple cider vinegar,
okay.
Just a little splash. Whoop. Some whole grain mustard. That'll give it some depth of flavor. A little more sweetness with some sugar.
Okay.
And then some yellow mustard. Your classic yellow mustard you put on your hot dog every day. Because we don't put ketchup on hot dogs.
We cannot do that. That is sacrilegious.
Well, not in New York. That's where I'm from. Can't do that.
It cannot happen, folks, okay? If you are the adult, if you are past the age of what, 7?
6? 7's fine.
Holden 7, so we'll go 7.
7.
Holden, you get it for just a little bit longer, buddy, but no, ketchup, goodbye.
Goodbye. A little bit of lemon. And then let's zap it. That's it, super quick. We're gonna add a little bit of canola oil, or whatever your oil du jour is. You just don't want to use olive oil.
Now, why is that then?
It'll taste bitter.
It'll taste better.
It'll taste bitter. You don't wanna just think about olives and sugar and mustard.
Totally.
In your mouth, it wouldn't taste that great.
So very neutral flavor
neutral oil.
Of an oil.
Canola, vegetable, any of those. So that's it. After we added the oil, just a quick spin in there.
Now, can I get a taste?
Absolutely.
I gotta go in here. Ooh.
It's not your typical honey mustard.
No.
It's a whole different experience altogether.
100%.
So what I am gonna do is I am gonna take some of it and reserve a little bit for later, for when we do some final plating. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit of that in here.
Okay.
So we have that. But we are going to need some of this to make our miso glaze that goes on the salmon itself. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of this to the bowl. And then to that, we are going to add some teriyaki sauce. And to that, we've got some white miso paste.
What is a miso paste?
So a miso paste, it's fermented soybeans.
Okay.
Okay, so they take the soybeans, they ferment them, they age them, they develop this really unique sort of funky flavor, but it's a sweet sort of funky flavor.
What does it taste like then?
Miso has got miso actually gives you this flavor that commonly known as umami. And it's kind of like a sixth sort of flavor sense, sixth sense, if you will, for flavor. It's a little bit of sweet, a little bit of savory is the best way to put it.
Chef Jason's miso crunch salmon can be on your table tonight if you grab the recipe from our website. It's ready and waiting for you right now at dinnerdeeas.com. Open the camera app on your phone, point it at the QR code on the screen, and a link will appear, which you can press to get right to us. We'll leave the QR code up on the screen a little bit longer if you're still looking for the phone. I think it's over there. Yeah, it's under that cushion. Actually, yeah, there you go. You found it. It's underneath the couch.
We are going to glaze the salmon before we make our crust that's going to go on it. Actually, before we glaze it, we're just going to season it lightly.
Just a little bit of salt and pepper?
A little bit of salt and pepper. Use your favorite salt and pepper for this. I just use classic ground black pepper and a little bit of fine sea salt. It works just fine.
And the salmon, skin's off, it looks like.
I'm using a skin off Atlantic salmon. This also can be done skin on.
Okay.
That's your preference. It's also could also be done if you wanted to do it with a piece of halibut.
Okay.
There are people who not big fans of salmon. They want a white flaky fish. But if you do it, I would stick to, because of the flavors, I would stick to things that are more neutral, like a halibut, sea bass, salmon.
Mild flavor, okay.
Mild flavor. Even a tuna would work.
Could you do, if those that are wanting to, could you do frozen?
Oh, absolutely.
You could.
Yeah, just
you
make
can
sure.
do it, folks. If you want to do it,
You can do.
You had it out of the freezer, pull it out.
You want to do frozen? Not a problem. Just make sure it's fully thawed, and definitely take the time to blot it dry.
Okay.
Definitely take the time to blot it dry. Because what happens is if it's still a little wet, when you put on the glaze and you put on the seasonings, they tend to run off. They don't stick.
And how important is it to really season this fish before you even put the glaze on?
Very important. I mean, it's the same thing. You only brush the teeth you want to keep. So
because
you only season the parts you're going to eat.
Exactly. So many people just jump straight in and say, "Hey, I made this beautiful glaze, and I'm going to put it right on." But it's like, no, you're missing that little component there of just that little burst of flavor.
Yeah, and you don't want to heavily. That's why you didn't see us season the glaze.
Exactly.
Because the salmon needs it. The glaze is really acting more as an adhesive, and with like a little bit of it'll be a little bit of a sweet surprise when you taste it later.
Lovely.
When it's done.
Absolutely lovely.
So we're going to step over here and make the Parmesan panko.
Okay.
That's going to be the crust for it. And this is super easy because it's really just 2 ingredients. They're panko breadcrumbs.
Unseasoned.
Unseasoned.
Okay.
Do not buy the ones that are seasoned.
Okay.
They sell the ones that are seasoned right next to the plain ones. What they have in there is more of like an Italian seasoning.
Yeah.
It's going to destroy the whole thing.
Okay.
Don't use it.
So the wrong flavor profile could compromise the integrity of this dish.
Yeah. If for some reason the store was out of panko, then buy regular breadcrumbs, but again, unseasoned.
Unseasoned. Okay.
And then if you have grated Parmesan, great. If you don't and you have shredded, that's fine. And because I have shredded, I'm going to just use my hands to sort of break it up a little bit.
Okay.
Just to make those shreds a little finer or a little more broken up. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And then I'm going to put some of that onto the plate to make it easy, because I don't want to just put the salmon into the bowl. Now I've sort of contaminated all of it.
Sure.
And I can't reserve or use any of the extra at another time, because this right here could be reserved. You could put that in the fridge and keep that for up to 2 weeks easy.
Lovely.
No problem. So now I'm simply going to press this into the Parmesan crust. And by doing it this way, I get a nice even layer.
Yeah.
If I put it the other way and try to sprinkle it on, you'll get clumps, it'll be uneven, and then when it cooks up, it won't be so great. I'm just gonna make sure it's fully crusted on every corner.
Now this is not going to go straight in the oven either, though.
No. So what we're gonna do is, and I can go back to the same plate because we're not cooking it yet, this is gonna go into the refrigerator so all of the ingredients can set.
Okay.
You want all that to set before it goes in the oven. Otherwise, what'll happen is it'll heat up and everything will just slide right off.
All right. Well, hey, it's not just the salmon that needs to rest up. I'm about ready for a break too, because when we come back, how to eat your greens with a smile on your face as we make a simple side of sprouts worthy of sharing a plate with our Miso Crunch Salmon ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. Today's meal is a Miso Crunch Salmon with roasted Brussels sprouts and super grains and a sweet vinaigrette. It's direct from the kitchens of Miso, the newest venture from the folks who brought you the melting pot. And Chef Jason Miller is with us to share how to make it. Before the break, we mixed together a sweet mustard vinaigrette, which we whisked up into a miso paste with teriyaki sauce and used it to glaze salmon fillets, which we then breaded in Parmesan and panko breadcrumbs. While the crust sets in the fridge, we're going to go starting on our side of sprouts. because they're not always a fan favorite at the family dinner table, but they're a favorite at your family?
It's a mixed bag.
Okay.
I mean, they're to me, it's cabbage candy.
It's cabbage candy.
It's cabbage candy. The
that
little
is
baby
a new
cabbages.
term for Brussels sprouts. Cabbage candy.
Cabbage candy. Try that, and maybe the kids will try it.
Okay.
So, you know, my daughters, they'll try them because they're so cute. They're cute little cabbages. So who doesn't like cute little things?
So how do we make the Brussels sprouts into your cabbage candy?
Let me show you. It's super easy, super easy. But first, starting with the Brussels sprouts themselves, the baby cabbages, there's two things that you want to look for. First is the outside leaves. If any of them are discolored, you're going to want to be able to take those off. But first, look at the bottom, at the base.
And what are you looking for in particular there?
I'm just trying to trim it so it's clean.
Okay, so you're just trying to clean it off a little bit.
Just clean it off a little bit. You don't have to go, you don't have to sit here with a ruler and try to figure out exactly where. Just take it off, clean off.
Okay.
And then cut it in half.
Right down the middle.
Right down the middle. Now, what I was saying before with the discolored leaves is that once you cut it in half, makes it super easy to take off those leaves. They fall right off. And then you can put all of them into a bowl, wash them, dry them, just to take off maybe there might be some excess grit.
Okay.
These have already been washed and dried. And once that's done, I'm gonna add a little bit of neutral oil to it. Again, for the same reason as the olive oil. We don't want to impart any flavors. Let the natural flavor of the little cabbage candies come through.
Okay.
So I have my neutral oil, a little pinch of black pepper. I've got some fine sea salt here.
Very simple.
Very simple, very simple. When you have quality ingredients, let them shine.
Yeah.
Let them shine. All the oil and the salt and pepper are gonna do is just help support them and bring out all that great goodness and flavor that you find in these little cabbages. So I'm gonna put the Brussels sprouts onto the tray, and we are going to pop these into a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes.
I love it. Chef Jason's recipes for his cabbage candy, plus the miso crunch salmon and the super grains we'll be making later are all at our website, dinnerdeas.com. Just scan the QR code on the screen to get over there right now. All right, so we've got salmon still.
So we still have the salmon because we've got to get this into the oven as well. And what I'm going to do is take a pan and use a little bit of nonstick spray. Makes it super easy. And just slide the salmon right on there.
Very nice.
Because now that it's been in the fridge, all the coatings, everything is nice and firm. I don't have to worry about anything sort of sliding off or any of those issues. And this can go right into the oven as well.
Perfect. I love it. Because while our salmon and our sprouts bake, we're taking a break. When we come back, how to give this dinner a simple super grain supercharge ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz, where today's recipe is from Chef Jason Miller. He's with Meltso, the latest concept from fondue favorite, the melting pot. And we're making one of their Meltso mains, a miso crunch salmon. Before the break, we put our miso glazed and panko breaded salmon into the oven, along with a side of seasoned Brussels sprouts. We're taking the salmon out, but the sprouts, they're not done just yet.
They're not done just yet, but I just wanted to show you how they're starting to develop some color. And now they're gonna go back into the oven under the broiler so they can get a little bit of crispiness on the edges.
Oh, very cool. That's the candy part of it all right there, folks.
It just enhances the candiness.
It just enhances the candy. All right. Candy's dandy right now. And super grains.
Super grains. So these we're actually gonna put in the microwave. It's the easiest way to heat them.
Okay.
Super grains, it's one of the superfoods. You hear that buzzword a lot.
Sure.
So what we're talking about when we say that is a lot of antioxidants. We're talking good for you. Low fat. You can control the carbs
But
based
does
on the
that mean
portion.
healthy, boring, flavorless? Because that's
No.
what a lot of people are thinking here.
I'm a healthy guy, but not a healthy, boring guy.
Okay.
So, and I've got to have flavor. I mean, I would die without flavor.
That's the spirit, my friend.
So, and I need texture too. And the thing that's great about these in particular, this has farro, kamet, and a couple of other ones in there. But what's great about it is it's nice and crunchy. I like having some texture and some hardiness to it. But by all means, do what you like for a grain. If you like rice, put rice.
Okay.
Quinoa, orzo. And what's great right now is that a lot of places, especially in the frozen section, you can find frozen, already cooked versions of like quinoa. Tricolored quinoa are always exciting. Couscous works well. Perfect. You want to go pasta route and put orzo, that works fine.
Very cool. All right, so this is going to go into the microwave
Yeah,
then?
this is just going to go in just for a minute.
Because it's already been cooked.
Yeah, this has already been cooked. If you were to cook some of these things, the instructions are usually right on the box, like couscous, quinoa. It's just like you would be cooking rice with a little bit of water and the grains themselves. So while that's going, I'm going to pull out the Brussels sprouts, and then we're going to plate.
See, and this is the fun, because it's one thing to put together a great dish. It's another thing to really inspire those around the table to say, look at the pride in my plating.
Well, here's the thing about the plating, is that it's really easy when someone shows you how to do it. So I know you know how, but for the benefit of the viewers, I'm going to show you exactly how, in the restaurant, we plate this dish.
Okay.
Okay? So all the mystery and all the magic, you're going to see it right now.
Very cool.
Okay?
All right.
So these have got 15 seconds. So while these are going, I can start by adding the sauce first.
Okay.
Which seems counterintuitive, but the way you're going to get that restaurant presentation is exactly by doing that. And the first thing we're going to do is...
And this was the vinaigrette that we made earlier. We just took a little bit, we saved it for this purpose, because now it's that moment for it to be coming back alive.
Exactly. I'm going to do one of these. Woo. And we're going to add the sauce right around the outside. Use the plate. You have this plate, okay? And don't make it perfect. Don't try to get it exact all the way around. It doesn't even look natural when it's that perfect, you know? You're making this from the heart, okay? And if you ever look at an idolized shape of a heart, iconic shape, it's that heart shape. You ever look at a real human heart? Doesn't look anything like that.
It doesn't look like it.
So same thing here. This is cooking from the heart. Make it a little more natural, a little more flexible in how you think this should look. And then, whew, that came out all in one right there.
Very nice.
So that's fine.
So that's just going to go straight into the center of the plate.
Straight into the center.
Okay.
And the thing is, you know what? It can be natural. It doesn't, again, you don't have to make these things perfect. And you'll see why when it's fully done.
Okay.
So we've got our sauce, we've got our grains. Next, we're just going to add our salmon right across the top.
And look at that beautiful color on that too.
Yeah, I mean, we could stop right here.
Yeah.
We're great, but we're not done. So we're going to take some of the Brussels sprouts, and these are a little hot coming out of the broiler. And you just want to take like maybe 5 or 6, throw them around. I mean, if you really like Brussels, you can load them up.
But it's methodical at that point too, you know?
Yeah. You're just going for a little bit of color.
This looks amazing already.
Yeah. And again, we could stop right now, but I have a hard time stopping sometimes. So, a little bit of lemon, maybe a little parsley. That's it.
Look.
Super easy.
That's amazing. That is restaurant quality dish plating here for all of you at home to be able to try this and to do this yourself, because to make your own miso crunch salmon, and trust me, my friends, you absolutely could have this on your table tonight. All you need is to grab Chef Jason's recipe over on our website, dinnerdeas.com, scan the QR code to get there. And when you're there, let us know if you've made any of our recipes. That's what Lorraine did. She wrote from Riverview. She made the lobster pasta, which she made with Chef Tyson Grant from Park Shore Grill. Lorraine, that looks beautiful. And you had fun taking advantage of the plate too and having fun with that beautiful pasta dish. I absolutely love it. When we come back, we're tasting our meal of miso crunch salmon ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to the show with ideas for dinner every day, or as we call them, Dinner Diaz. Today's recipe is from Chef Jason Miller. He's with Miso, which is the latest concept from fondue favorite, the melting pot, and we've been making miso crunch salmon. We started by blending a simple vinaigrette of mustard, whole grain and yellow, honey, sugar, apple cider vinegar, mayo, onion, lemon juice, and canola oil. Then we use that plus a little bit of some miso paste and some teriyaki sauce to make a miso glaze for our salmon, which we breaded in Parmesan and panko breadcrumbs. We baked it alongside some seasoned Brussels sprouts, or as Chef Jason calls it, cabbage candy, which we finished off under the broiler. And if you missed his top tips for perfect plating, watch it again on our website. And not forgetting that bottom layer of the not boring super grains. A lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but now is the best time because now we get to taste it all
I love
and
it.
see what's going on.
Because it was simple.
It's super simple.
We really used an oven, a microwave, a food processor.
Yeah, we picked up a knife what, for 2 seconds.
That was it?
That was
That
it.
was it.
That
All
was
right.
it. So dig in.
Let's go for it. Oh, wow.
And you want to get that perfect bite where you're going to get a little bit of the grains, a little bit of the salmon, and a Brussels.
That's the perfect bite right there.
That's the perfect
That's the
bite.
whole, like, go straight in, get it all in.
Yep. Get it all in. That'll give you that umami flavor, some sweetness. You'll get the other sweetness from the little cabbage candy. You get that heartiness from the grains, a little bit of toastiness from the breadcrumbs. It all comes together. It all works.
It really does. And the presentation, I mean, so many people overthink it and they think, oh, I've got to put the protein at 6 o'clock and, you know, you got your starch, you got your veg, and that's it.
Don't overthink it. Keep it simple. You saw how we did this. 1, sauce. 2, the grains. 3, the fish. 4, the Brussels. You're done.
That's it.
That's it.
And you can make an absolute restaurant quality dish at home.
You can, not only can you make it at home, but you can make it in under an hour, from start to finish.
Who doesn't love that?
I love it.
I love it too. And thanks again to Chef Jason. His recipes from today are all on our website, dinnerdeas.com, along with the link to Meltso. I'm Jeff Philbin. Join me again next time for more Dinner Dias.
Thanks for watching Dinner Dias. And remember, anytime you're hungry for a great dinner idea, just go to dinnerdeas.com.